What came to mind when you were talking about the importance of reflection in growth and learning? What came to mind to me was when you read or listen to a self-help book or podcast and then do nothing with it, right? Or when you have a meeting with a lot of ideas and don't really take action on it, right? Like those are the things that came to mind. Is that kind of how you were? Is that kind of what you meant by like reflecting on it? Or in this case, right? Like we had a podcast, not only reflect on what we talked about, what I learned from you, but reflect on like how it was set up, how we were prepared, how it was facilitated, things like that.
Yeah, and the more natural it's part of your process, the more effective you're going to be at improving. I think that's what the efficiency in learning factor is. Um, I don't think that's a established thing. I think that's kind of what my take on it. So all of our philosophy of education, my philosophy, the business's philosophy that I run, is based on really two people. The foundational person is John Dewey, and he's the one. He's got an amazing wealth of resources and books on kind of like thinking through like how people learn and how do you challenge people to grow and what type of context. It's a very traditional, delivery of. It's very funny to listen to experiential learning books, and they're books which are by virtue not experiential, right?
Yeah.
What I like about David Kolb, which is the kind of a subsequent global thinker of experiential learning, is that he created a model for you to use to help explain experiential learning. So it's not John Dewey's lecture on experiential learning, it's David Kolb's model on how do you do and then reflect in order to make progress in a certain area. And the key is if you don't reflect by doing, I guess two key things. One aspect is what happened, right, during that experience, and then how am I going to use what happened in the future, and how does it apply to my life, right? And in any capacity, you can be in a room where you're talking to a successful CEO, and you might learn how to be a better zero scape, you know. Expert, right? You could technically take lessons from one area and apply it to others. But at the end of the day, the way that happens is you have to reflect. And you don't have to do it formally. I think a lot of times in school, they ask you to reflect. It's like ranking things quantitatively, reflecting in certain areas qualitatively, and sharing that, with an educator, or with your peers, which is also part of that reflection exercise. But sometimes it could just be like dedicating a moment in time to be like, how did that go? And like, if I could do it again, what would I do differently?